Here we are, we're live. How is everyone doing? So, we're going to continue with this introductory overview lesson on JavaScript. So far we've covered two data types. We've covered number and we have covered string. Again, number is basically any floating point number. Floating point meaning is like it can be represented as a decimal or in math world what we like to call rational numbers. Um, and then we also talked about string. And I want to clarify something like there are irrational numbers, obviously, such as the square root of 2 or um, I, the square root of -1, pi, that's also an irrational number. Those values, or to get those numbers, those units, we would have to do a little something different, and that would be accessing the math object. And we're not going to cover that right now. At some point down the line, I hope to be able to do a little video on that. But as far as the number data type, that is referencing floating point numbers or rational numbers. And then also with strings, again, with strings, we can uh, have them be use single quotes or double quotes with strings. Uh, we also know how to escape using the backslash with the string, and we know that that is simply keyboard text. So anything anything that you press on the keyboard, as far as like the alphanumeric values and the special characters, those can be represented by the use of a string. So it's basically again just literal text. We also looked at what happens when you try to combine a string with a number, whether using the concatenation symbol, the plus sign, or the star, like for multiplication, in which case we have type conversion where the string, if I want to say combine by adding or concatenating a string to a number, then the string will take precedence and the number will convert to a string. Conversely, if I want to combine a number with a string by multiplication, then the number takes precedence, and then the string, no, the number numeric representation of a string will convert to a number, and then it will evaluate that expression. So those are those two data types. I want to look at these next three in this video because this one won't take so long. Uh, and we'll spend more time on one of them in particular later. But we have Boolean. Boolean is the data type. It is in reference to the mathematician and philosopher and a bunch of other things from 19th century England, George Boole. But and again, I'm going to go into this much deeper later on at some point. I forgot I'm making a video, so I can't say what day specifically because it could be a day. It could be any day for the people out there in YouTube land. But anyway, so Boolean is simply true or false. That is the Boolean data type. So it is a data type. In other words, we can store this. We can do things with this. We can input true or false, and we can output true or false. So simply, console.log true. And so I'm gonna come over here, and this is cool. Google, if you'd like to give me some money, you can. I'm not gonna turn it down, especially not from Google. But anyways, just recently, as a matter of fact, today, Google updated Google Chrome, and so now you can customize your toolbar, in which case they have a developer tools icon. So instead of me having to right click and go to inspect to open up the console, I can just come over here and click the little icon there, and developer tools pops up, and there's my console. Lottie dottie. Let me refresh, and there it sees true is a data type. One thing that I did not mention in my last video that I wanted to bring up, when we look at the number data type and we look at the string data type inside the console, this is something that the console helps us out with. You can see that numbers are colored purple while strings are colored white. That might help you because, you know, if you want to know, hey, is this value, is it a string or is it a number? I can simply look at when inside the console and I can look and see what the data type is. Now, I would assume that different browsers indicate the data types differently. So, you know, don't hold me or the developer tools to that. Also, for people who are colorblind, maybe you'll have to, you know, do it another way, which I mean, it's not difficult to do. But this is a good indication right here of the data type if you ever wanted to figure out what the data type was. Or if you needed to know. But anyways, we can see here that true, and it's written all lowercase. This is a data type. So in other words, I can say console.log false. And same thing, okay? So that would lead me to the question of, hey, can I find what would happen if I combine them? Much like I do with the number, like we saw earlier with numbers, we can add, subtract, multiply. We can do all these arithmetic operations on them. And we saw with strings, we can concatenate strings, which uses the concatenation symbol or the plus sign. I wonder if I could do that with a Boolean. So in other words, what would happen if I said console.log true plus true? What do you think would happen? Don't look at it yet. What do you think would happen if I said true plus true? I'm sorry. I said a bunch of people said stuff. It should be true. You say false?
I say 1.
You say 1?
Or 2, I mean, not 1.
Or 2? Let's see. On the console. And I do get 2. Oh, wow. What does that mean? Oh. Yeah, Connor said 2. Connor gets his name called out in the YouTube video. Yeah, you're famous now. Where do we get 2 from? Good question. Great question. So remember, if I go back to my trusty slides over here, and here we said that data is just information, and the computer only understands zeros and ones. That's all the computer knows, zeros and ones. Well, guess what 0 represents? False or off, maybe even down. 1 represents true or on, much like a light switch. So if a 1 represents true, 0 represents false. If I to say true plus true, then that's essentially me saying 1 plus 1 when I combine true and true and I get 2. Weird. No witchcraft quite yet, but it is weird. So let's look at this. So here we have Boolean operators, okay? Like arithmetic operators, we have Boolean operators, and they work a little differently. Let's see what that looks like. I'm going to put these in the comments over here. So we have 2 equal signs together, like so. And this means is equal to. We have 3 equal signs. And this means it's strictly equal to. We have an exclamation point, or what we call the bang, and an equal sign. And this means is not equal to. That's something that's different. Well, we'll look at these. They all look a little different for us. We have this one where the gator mouth is going to the left, and that means what? We forgot.
Greater than.
Yeah, it's greater than. And then we have the gator mouth and the equal sign. That means no. It means it's greater than or equal to. Alligator mouth going to the right. So these are called chevrons or angle brackets. Okay, so this symbol right here, we call it greater than, less than, or even more trivial, the alligator mouth. But this is called a chevron or angle bracket. That's what it is actually called. At any rate, like the gas station, Chevron gas station. Give me $1, Chevron. But this one means is less than. They got plenty of money. They can give me $1. The angle bracket and equal symbol, and that means is less than or equal to. And so these are the Boolean operators. Okay. And so now I'm going to do a little math philosophy here. Okay. Because if I do this expression here, 6 plus 2, console.log 6 plus 2 equals 8. So here I have two separate expressions. I have 6 plus 2, and then I have 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. What is going to be the output? What's going to log out here with 6 plus 2? That's not a difficult one. What is 6 plus 2? Thank you, 8. And here I have 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. What is going to be my output? True. Correct. It's going to be true. When you were first learning addition, and then all the way up to certainly algebra 1 at least, maybe even a little bit further, you just thought that these were the same thing, like this expression is the same, and that's a lie. It's not. So we have this first one on line 82 here. This is what I like to call an arithmetic expression. Okay. And with an arithmetic expression, I will have an infinite number of possible solutions. If I have 6 plus 2, then the number of possibilities, number of solutions that I have to this is infinite. Now, there's only one correct solution, which would be 8, but I have a pool. The set of values that I have to choose from is infinite because that number line goes infinite on and on in both directions, positive and negative. So any arithmetic expression, it will evaluate to one of an infinite number of solutions. Maybe 2, depending on if you're doing like polynomials or something, absolute values and whatnot. But here, this is a Boolean expression. 6 plus 2 is equal to 8. This is a Boolean expression. And a Boolean expression is different in that how many possible solutions do I have? Yeah, go ahead and say it. Yes, correct. 2. And what are my 2 solutions? True or false? That's it. And so that's the difference between an arithmetic operation or arithmetic expression and a Boolean expression. A Boolean expression, I only have 2 choices. I only have 2 possible solutions. It's either going to be true, it's going to be false. There's no maybe, there's no I'm not sure, there's no well kinda. It's true or false. That's it. Let's see it about later. No, none of that. It's going to be either true or false. With an arithmetic expression, again, we have an infinite possibility of solutions. All right. So let's get back here using these operators. So we see is equal to. Let's say if I say console.log 4 is equal to 4. This will evaluate to what? That was pretty easy. Console.log. What if I said the number 4 is equal to? Let's get a little weird here. The number 4 is equal to the string 4. What do you think? What do you think that would be? The number 4 is equal to the string 4. I hear false. Console.log. The number 4 is strictly equal to the number 4. What do you think this will be? True. Console.log. The number 4 is strictly equal to the string 4. What do you think that'll be?
That's false. No, yeah, that would be false, and the 4 to the string 4 would be true.
Okay, let's have a look. See, I'm gonna bring my console.clear down. So I want to move this console.clear. I want to move that line down. So what I can do in Visual Studio Code, give me $1 Visual Studio Code. If I click I put my cursor right here in front of the C, and I hold Option for Mac Daddies and Mac Mamas. Otherwise, it'd be Alt. Hold the Alt key, and I press down. I can move that line down, and that's what I'm gonna do. So again, I have this console.clear that I want to use somewhere else. Okay, I put my cursor in front of the C, like so, and then if you're a Mac user, Mac Daddies and Mac Mamas, I hold the Option key and press up or down. I can move it up and down. If I have a PC, Windows, Linux device, whatever, I will hold the Alt key and go up or down. Ooh, so cool. All right, so I'm gonna put my clear over here. So I got true, false here. And let's see. You're wrong. True, false. Okay, so that means this one right here. The number 4 is equal to the string 4. This, in fact, this is actually true. Why is that true? You don't know. It's true because here, what JavaScript is doing is looking at the numerical value and the string value. And that's all it's looking at. The string 4 is equal to the number 4. Okay, so that's something you want to keep in mind. However, here, line 88 down here, where I have the number 4 is strictly equal to the string 4, this does evaluate to false. And evaluates to false because we're not only looking at the numerical value, but we're also looking at the data type. So it's testing both of those. And if both of those evaluate to true, then it returns true. So that's why here the number 4 is strictly equal to the number 4. That's true because both the numbers are the same. The data types are also the same. And it doesn't matter if I have 4 right here or if I have 24 divided by 6, because here on the right side of my is strictly equal to symbol, I will evaluate this. 24 divided by 6 is 4. There you go. Wasn't that difficult? And so 4 is equal to 4, so that's still going to evaluate to true. So is equal to is just comparing them. Not looking at the data type, but just comparing them, okay? Is a string, well, is this value equal to this value? If it is, then that's true. Whereas is strictly equal to is not only looking at the value, but it's looking at the data type. So what would happen if I said console.log, and I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to write a string right here. I'm going to say the number 8 is strictly equal to the string 4 plus 4. And then I'm going to put a comma right here. And then I'm going to write out that I'm going to write this string out using the symbols. And I'm going to say 8 strictly equal to the string 4 plus 4. What do you think this will evaluate to? And again, I'm using a Boolean operator, so it's either going to be true or false. The number 8 is strictly equal to the string 4 plus 4. What do you think this will be? And it is false. Good deal. Because the string 4 plus 4 is just the literal string 4 plus 4. What about this? What if I say console.log the, oh, let me make this string. I could say 4 plus 4 is equal to the string 8. And let's write this out again. I'm going to say 4 plus 4 is equal to the string 8. What do you think this will evaluate to? Say false. I hear true. I hear false. I hear another true. We'll go with true. Let's see. I heard more trues than false. It is true. The number 4 plus 4 is equal to the string 8. Why is that?
It's comparing actually numeric 8 to a string of 8, which since it's not strictly equals to, it reads comparison.
Correct. We're going to do what's on the left side of the Boolean operator, that 4 plus 4, the number 4 plus 4, and I can add those two numbers up. That's going to return 8. And then I'm going to say 8 is equal to, the number 8 is equal to the string 8. We've already established that that will evaluate to true. Any questions about that? Let's look at this again. What if I said console.log? Because I see it works like if I compare strings and numbers. What if I try to compare strings? What if I said the string A is equal to the string A? It's a capital A. What would this evaluate to? True or false? True. Console.log the string capital A is equal to the string lowercase a. This will evaluate to, I'm sorry, false. Let me bring this console.clear down. True and false. Very good. Very good. So it's saying here that a capital A, uppercase A, is not equal to a lowercase a. Well, then here, what about this then? Look at console.log capital A is greater than lowercase a. What do you think? Is a capital A greater than a lowercase a? Yes, you say true.
False.
It is false. It is false. All lowercase values is something to note. I'll put a little comment right here. All lowercase letters are greater than uppercase letters. That's something that you'll need to know. This will allow us to say test passwords to see if passwords match this concept here. Our keyboards have been coded, and you can just Google keyboard codes, and it lists the values of all of the keyboard codes. We can also, just console it. We just write up in JavaScript, but not gonna worry about doing all that right now. But so you see here, these are all of the Boolean operators. We also have logical operators. Logical operators, they work alongside the Boolean operators, okay? And let me put that right here. I'm gonna say these are Boolean operators, okay? And we also have logical operators. What are logical operators? We have three of them. We have these two ampersands, and this means and. We have these two lines, or what we like to call pipes. And that is by holding, if you're like using the American keyboard or whatever it's called, shift, and you see the backslash, that creates the pipes. This means or. And then we have, again, the bang, the exclamation point, and that means not. And so what we could do with these logical operators is we can expand our expressions. We can make them a little more complex. What do I mean by that? Hey, coach, what do you mean by that? Yeah, I could say, what if I said console.log true and true? If I said console.log true and false, console.log true or false, console.log, put this in parentheses, I'm going to say not true or true or false and false. So we can make them like really complex, okay? And so this expression here, true and true, what would that evaluate to? And again, with a logical operator, I don't think I mentioned it. With a logical operator, like the Boolean operator, you only get one or two solutions. You get true or you get false. And there is no both, okay, for the record. It's either going to be true or it's going to be false. So here, if I'm saying true and true, that's going to evaluate to not all at once. True. True and false should evaluate to false. True or false will evaluate to
True.
true. Not true or false and false will evaluate to
True.
true. Let's look at it. So we got true, false, true, true. I'll bring my clear down. True, false, true, true. Correct. What's happening? Why is this doing this? I don't understand. It's making my head hurt. Oh my goodness. Oh. So true and true. The and operator says, hey, I'm going to look on the left and right of the operator, and both expressions have to evaluate to true for the entire statement to be true. So true and true is going to evaluate to true. I like ice cream and I like tacos. Those are both true statements. That's going to evaluate to true. So likewise, true and false is going to evaluate to false, because again, the and operator looks on both sides. So this and operator looks over here to the left and to the right. And both of these statements have to evaluate to true in order for it to be true. Otherwise, it's going to be false. I like ice cream and I like olives. That is going to be false because I hate olives. So true and false is going to evaluate to false. The and operator states, and I have it here. I believe I do. Nope. The and operator states that both expressions have to evaluate to true in order for the entire statement or the entire expression to be true. The or operator is only looking at one or the other. So here, if I have true or false, the or operator is going to look to the left first. And if this evaluates to true, then the whole entire statement is true. I like ice cream or I like olives. That is a true statement because I like ice cream. So it's looking on the left side first. And if this evaluates to true, it disregards everything else and the expression is true. Likewise, I'm going to come right here and I'm going to add this. If I did the inverse of this, if I say console.log false or true, this is still going to evaluate to true. Because what I'm doing is I'm going to look over here on the left side, and this is what this evaluates to false. So if that's false, the or operator is then going to look, then it's going to look to the right side. And if this evaluates to true, then the statement is true. So if I say false or true, that is going to evaluate to true. I like olives or I like ice cream. Again, that is a true statement. And then finally here we have not true or false and false. And again, that evaluates to true. Why? Here, not true is what?
False.
False. Okay, so it's going to be one or the other. And I essentially use PEMDAS with this. You know, I go inside my parentheses first and evaluate that. So I have false or true. That's going to evaluate to true. False or true is going to evaluate to true. Well, if this evaluates to true, I don't even have to look over here on the right side of this or operation, this or operator. I could just disregard that, because if this evaluates to true, then the whole statement is true. So again, you see with the logical operators, we can get a lot more complex with our expressions. It allows us to do that. Still the same concept with Boolean. We're going to we'll have an output of either true or false. You can't have both. There's no maybe. That's what you get with the Boolean operators. So those, and I will lump these last two data types together. Not spending much time on this. We have undefined and we have null. Okay. Let me see. What do I have on here? The undefined data type is returned when a variable is declared. We haven't talked about variables yet. When a variable has been declared but has not been assigned. The null data type represents an empty or unknown value. So undefined data type means that there's actual, how can I put this? There's existence of it, like it does exist, but it has not been defined yet. There's no declaration. It hasn't been assigned anything. The null data type, however, means that essentially this doesn't exist. Okay, and we'll see how that plays out later. So this is enough for this video right here. We're a little longer than what I plan on it going, but got a lot of information done. So as with any of these videos, you can always pause, go back, look, try stuff out, type stuff on your own, test these things out. This is really, really basic information, but it's like the fundamental building blocks for what we're going to do with programming later, particularly in JavaScript. So you need to understand the 5 primitive data types in JavaScript before you go any further. But the usage of these next concepts, these next few concepts we're going to cover, will help us kind of understand data types a little more, or at least I hope that they will. So here's my plug. Like, what else you got to do? Comment, you got to share, all that other good stuff, so that them coins can start coming in. That's right. And we'll start the next lesson up on variables.